Hi there, Terry Bauer here for ZW3D. I am about to show you some of the resource areas that you can find in the main ZWSoft site. This is strictly for ZWCAD, or I'm sorry, ZW3D. And so the first thing we do is we go to www.ZWSoft.com. Please excuse my dog. And then we drop into the community menu to ZW3D. And here you will find a wealth of information or links that you can get a wealth of information from regarding ZW3D. So the things that we're interested in this particular video are the installation guide and the tutorials. So let's go over to the installation guide first. The installation guide in itself, the community page, provides a great deal of information, but what we're looking for is this area right here. So let's have a look at the system requirements first. So the system requirements for ZW3D are pretty straightforward. These are the operating systems that it will run on. I don't recommend that you run it on Windows XP. If you have Windows XP, you need to upgrade. Microsoft no longer supports it, so therefore it's going to become increasingly difficult for ZWSoft to make sure that ZW3D runs correctly on it, especially when there are updates, etc. You need a pretty good processor. Over 2 gig will be better. Configuration of 4 gigabytes of memory. RAM, I'd suggest that you have at least 8. I mean, the newer OSs take at least 2 gig and or 2 gigabytes, and if you're running any other software, you'll soon use it up. So I'd recommend you get 8 gigabytes of memory. Whether you're using ZWCAD or ZW3D, doesn't matter. Don't buy a system without getting 8 gigs of memory. It's cheap, so it's not like it used to be. The video, you need an NVIDIA Quadro FX 580 and above. The video card will help you a great deal, especially in rendering. If you do any gaming whatsoever, you already know this. And you've got a requirement for licensing the soft key or the dongle. So that's just the system requirements. So let's go back to this page and take a look at activation. So there's 2 ways of activating. You can soft key activation or dongle activation. Within soft key activation, there are 2 methods or 2 ways of or options for you. You can have a standalone version or you can have a network version. The network version allows you to have the license that you get for network. I think it's about $100 more for whatever product you choose. But what it does allow you to do is allows you to have a floating license across the network. Now, only if you have one license, only one person at a time can use the license. But if you have multiple engineers and they don't all need to use it at the same time, you could have 2 or 3 licenses and just leave them on the network, and they can be floating around and used by whoever needs them. So let's just take a look at the standalone version. And here we have 4 additional sets of information: the installation, activation, returning a license, or repairing a license. So the first thing we'll do is have a look at the installation. Installation is pretty straightforward. You get a series of screens. It'll tell you exactly what you do. You just follow the screen and you shouldn't have any problems. Just make sure you're clicking on the right thing. Make sure you're configuring it in the right way. You can change where you put it. This will put it its defaults to the program files, but you can essentially install it wherever you want. So if you have if you're short of disk space on your primary drive, you can install it on another drive. Be aware that if you do store it on an external drive and you unhook the external drive, guess what? It ain't gonna work. Okay, so we go down here and you're done. Yeah, pretty straightforward actually. It takes a few minutes to install, and again that depends on the version you're installing, the disk speed, your system speed, how much memory you've got, etc., etc. So it could be anywhere from 3 or 4 minutes to 5 to 10 minutes. So let's see, standalone version, that was the installation. Now we'll go to activation. To activate your license, you have 2 methods. You can go online or offline. I'm just going to go through the online. If you need to go through activate through the offline, you'll just click on that link and you can see the instructions there. So you'll click on the license manager, or you're using an evaluation copy. You make the choice. You will activate it on that machine. Here you'll click on activate. When you click on that, you will get this screen which shows you where you can place your license key, which you will have received in an email. If you didn't get it right away, don't worry about it. You'll get it within 24 hours. And here, once we're done, activation is successful, and you should see something like this in your license manager screen. Excuse me. Okay, like I say, you can activate offline also. If you need to change your license in any way, in other words, you're upgrading from one version to another, or you're upgrading the current version to a newer upgraded version, you'll get updates to any version you choose, but you won't get upgrades. So there's a difference between an update and an upgrade. An update is just fixes bugs and updates within the year, the year that you have it. So like from 2014 to 2015 you receive updates to the software. I think you also receive it after that, but for your version. But if you need an upgrade is a fairly significant, and you'll be getting new functionality, and that has a cost associated with it. And anyway, regardless, when you change your installation, you will have to return your license, and this is pretty straightforward. Again, you return, I recommend you just doing it online, so make sure you have an internet connection. You say there'll be a button down here to return the license. You'll say you're doing it offline or online. You'll say online, and there your key is being transferred temporarily, and you've installed it, you've returned it to the license manager. And there, pretty straightforward screen, return license successfully. And then when you want to reinstall it, you just go through the installation process again. So that's the standalone version. And returning, I won't go through the repairing a license. Well, let's take a look while we're here. See, repair online or offline here. And you click on a wizard and it'll say whether it's repaired successfully or not. See, there's pretty straightforward, nothing to see. So that's the soft key activation. The network activation, or the standalone soft key activation. The soft key activation for network is a little more involved. Obviously, you put in your the license manager and your license on a network machine, and then it becomes a floating license for anyone who's attached to the network and has the ZW3D installed. Only if you have one network license, only one person can use the license or use the software at the same time. So if you have, say, 10 engineers or users, and they all want to use the network or the license at the same time, then you will have to have 10 licenses. But if you have sporadic use, then maybe 2 or 3 or 4 licenses will do, and they just be, when people need to use them, they can just make use of the license key and see whether it's available, and that way you don't need to buy 10 licenses. You can make do with 3 or 4. Okay, so that's installation and registration of ZW3D. So let's go back to this area, and this is the community page that we went to. Yeah, and now we'll take a look at the ZW3D tutorials. The tutorials are quite extensive actually. You'll find quite a few here on introduction, light, sketching, modeling, assembly, etc, etc. You can read that yourselves. There's quite a few in each category. For instance, hole making, if you're doing CAD work or CAM work. And here we have 2 screens, so there's 8 there and 4 additional here. And there'll be several different sets of videos within each one of these tabs. To access milling, here you've got quite a bit of information here. Tells you how to use the software. Now, one of the problems that I've had, or one of the things that I'm dealing with, is that some of the videos have no audio and they go pretty quick, so it's kind of difficult to follow sometimes. So you're gonna have to look at it a few times, I think. And also the ones that are or that do have audio, there's sometimes difficult to understand. And so one of the things that I want to do, and this is the reason I'm creating this initial video, is to introduce the fact that I'm going to be creating multiple videos and copying as many of these as I can and creating my own, and you'll have an English speaking person, and I'll try and explain a bit more. I won't have any of the videos without audio, so there'll always be something that you can follow and understand. And as these will all be going up into YouTube, there'll be a what do they call it, the transcript of every video. And if you're familiar with YouTube, you'll see that as one of the tabs when you look at the whenever you look at the video. But anyway, I just wanted to introduce this to you, and here we are. We're in the, let's go through this again. You're going to the ZWSoft or ZWSoft.com main website. You go over to community, you drop down into ZW3D. It will take you to this screen or this page. You've got the tutorials and the installation guide, which we've just gone over, and you'll find a great deal of information there. And obviously there's white papers that explain a great deal about ZW3D and the CAD/CAM industry itself. And also there's a design challenge and a library of parts that you can test and work with to increase your knowledge. Hope this has been informational for you, and look out for more videos. Terry Bauer here for ZW3DNA.com. Please visit the site, and hope to speak to you or hear from many of you soon.